Reagan and today I'm filming an exciting video. Basically, you'll notice there's some holes in my shelves. I'm moving in a couple weeks, so I've been like pulling things off my shelves to start the whole moving process, and I noticed that there were, in fact, a lot of middle grade books from series that I absolutely love or haven't really started yet that I needed to read. So that's what this video is gonna be. It's like the first book in a series, but it's basically entitled Books on My Shelf I Need to Read Middle Grade Edition. So let's get started. Get into the books, I actually just kind of want to sing praises of middle grade. I actually read a lot of middle grade, and that's because it's just a genre that I still find to be so like magical and comforting. I love fantasy, and that's no, but middle grade fantasy in particular has this element of just pure adventure and fun, and usually friendship, which is just really refreshing to read, you know, taking a break from adult and YA books, which normally have a lot of angstier elements to it. It's just like, it's like fantasy and adventure in its purest form, and I just really love it, and I'll never grow out of it. So yeah. The first two books I'm going to talk about are actually the books that inspired this video as well, and they were sent to me for review by Disney Hyperion, and I'm working with them for this video. And those books are Serafina and the Black Cloak and Serafina and the Twisted Staff. Serafina and the Twisted Staff is the sequel to this book, and it actually just came out on July 12th. This is a middle grade series I've actually kind of like had my eye on for a minute. It's gotten fantastic reviews, and I mean, like, the covers are really beautiful. The first book in this series, Serafina and the Black Cloak, is about a young girl named Serafina who lives in the basement of an estate with her father. The father is the caretaker to this estate, and they live there in secret. No one's supposed to know that she's supposed to be there. And her whole life, her father has told her to not go into the surrounding woods. That's where dangerous things reside. But Serafina notices that children of the estate and the surrounding area are starting to disappear, and she knows who's like doing it. She's seen this like man in a black cape around, so she sets out on an adventure to, you know, save the day, find out who's behind that black cape, save those children. It sounds like mystical, charming, and like middle grade creepy, which I just absolutely love. The next book that I definitely need to get to is The Battle for Wandla by Tony Ditzelaritzi. Can't say his name. This is the third and final book to the Wandla series, which I read the first two books last year, and I totally loved completely, and I just haven't picked up the last one. I think it's coming from a place of like, I don't want it to end, but I just love this science fiction adventure series. They have beautiful illustrations, and in each book the illustrations take on a different color tone, which is super cool. This is just such a great series, and I need to finish it. Next is a middle grade series I've had on my shelf forever, and I've actually started a few times, I just never completed it, and it is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This is a incredibly highly reviewed middle grade series, and that sounds awesome. It has to do with like a fae magic school and like magical powers. I've only read about 70 pages of this book, so there's a lot of plot that I don't know yet, but from what I've read, I really liked it. It's incredibly engaging, and I just need to finish it. I also own the sequel, so like clearly I need to get to it, and I just it looks so fun. Next up is the Brandon Mole section. The first book in this section is Fable Haven, The Grip of the Shadow Plague by Brandon Mole. This is book 3 to the Fable Haven series. I've read the first 2 books. Pat on the back, pat on the back. So I'm not incredibly so far behind. I've started this series, so you know, I've delved into Brandon Mole a little bit. This is a middle grade series that I'm absolutely loving so far. It follows 2 characters that are siblings, and basically they go and stay on their grandfather's estate for a couple weeks during the summer, and they find out that their grandfather is actually the caretaker to this like magical creature reserve, and they just get pulled into all sorts of antics. It's a lot of fun. Brandon Mole's writing is super engaging and like really funny, and I just really appreciate it. And again, I'm wanting to continue on with this series with the 3rd book as soon as I possibly can. Next I have, oh god, it's too bright again. Next I have the first book to the Beyonders trilogy by Brandon Mole. I think this is his darker middle grade series, which honestly appeals to me a little bit. But this is about, I believe, and this follows our main character who gets pulled into a fantastical world that's like deep in civil war or war. Basically, there are no heroes in this world, and like evil has taken over, and I'm pretty sure our main character has to battle that, and I just found that to be really cool. I particularly am excited about this series because it takes place in an alternate world, a more like true high fantasy setting. that the Fablehaven series is not, because it takes place in our world. So that really excites me. I think I'm gonna pick this up when I finish Fablehaven, so I just don't have like a lot of open-ended series in my life, because I have a really bad habit of doing that, but this is definitely on the list. And the last Brandon Mole book that's on my list is Five Kingdoms, the first book being Skyraiders. I honestly don't even really know what this one's about. I think this is his newest series. So this book actually sounds super cool. So it follows our main character Cole, whose friends kind of disappear on Halloween, and he chases after them, and he lands into this new world called the Outskirts, which is made up of 5 kingdoms, hence the name. This world is like set in a place between waking and dreaming, so it has this kind of otherworldly quality that sounds really interesting, and just kind of like based on what I see here, I think it might have like a bit of like a desert western setting, which appeals to me. I think this is ongoing still, or it just finished, but again, Brandon Mole, I really like his writing. I'm excited to dive into the series when I finish these other 2 series, because I'm trying to have some self-control. And the last book on my list is The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes by Soman Chanini. I read the first book to this, A School for Good and Evil, a couple months ago, maybe a little longer than that. I lose track of time now. But I absolutely loved it. I thought it was such a clever take on this idea of good and evil and fairy tales and all sorts of things we kind of see in Disney movies, and the story kind of turns it on its head, basically exploring the idea that there is no black and white good and evil. Everything has gray to it, and what appears to be good can be actually incredibly shallow and, you know, actually, like, in reality very evil, whereas something that can be ugly and traditionally not pleasing is actually could be very good. So I just really appreciate this story, and I like the female friendship that it has in it. I think it's really clever, I think it's really fun, and I honestly need to continue on with this story because I really like the first one. In fact, I think this is probably a book I'm gonna pick up very soon because this is a really great series. Alrighty guys, those are all of the middle grade books on my shelf that I'm dying to get to. Let me know down below some of your favorite middle grade series, as I would love to know, because I want to continue to expand my library. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you soon with another video soon. Goodbye!